Well, good morning, everyone, or evening if you're watching this on replay. It is Labor Day, and I've been kind of waiting for some of my fellow four-color fossils to start making videos today, and I haven't seen much activity of anything. So I thought I would get on here and do some more reprint fun and be a little different today. Today's episode is brought to you by Strawberry Soda. We're a traditional old school here at Graphic Man Studios. Wasn't that riveting? Okay. So, good morning to the chat. We've got Mr. Rigamortis 86. Nice to see you. So let's talk some more reprints. Some of the best are the Marvel Collector's Item Classics. And these are still Silver Age, of course, and as you can tell, this one is 1965 here on the number 1 stamp. Reprinting Amazing Spider-Man number 3, Fantastic Four number 2, an Ant-Man story from Tales to Astonish, and a little action from Journey into Mystery. Looks like Eric Breen's here. Good to see you, Eric. Y'all be sure to check out some of Eric's fine work. All you have to do is just throw a dart at the internet, and I'm sure you'll land on a stream that Eric's involved in. Here's Marvel Collector's Item number 3. I think that'd be the second appearance of Iron Man's armor, gold armor. And Fantastic Four number 4. Part of the Hulk number 3 story. And some Watcher and Doctor Strange action. These are fabulous. And as Gratu said earlier, they're not really cut. Except you know where they're cut. If they're only going to show you part of Hulk story, they'll tell you that. So they just don't up and remove something. Here's Collector's Item number 4. This reprints Fantastic Four number 7. And another appearance of that golden armor. And some action from Hulk number 4 and Doctor Strange from Strange Tales. Good reprints. Marvel Collector's Item number 5. This will reprint Fantastic Four number 8. First appearance of Alicia and the Puppet Master. And there's more great Iron Man. Look at that. Just fabulous cover. Another part of a Hulk story and some part of a Strange Tales story. Doctor Strange. And the Watcher shows up and tells a little story. Marvel Collector's Item number 6. This is reprinting Fantastic Four number 9. Let me take it out of the bag. If you like mistakes, this Tales of Suspense with the Iron Man, that's got a good mistake. Because if you have that issue of Tales of Suspense, you'll notice they misspell Pharaoh. I don't see the cover reprinted here, but I may be thinking of a different book. Anyway, one of the One of the Tales of Suspense. Yeah, it's a different book. I probably see it coming up. They're going to reprint. They're going to misspell the word Pharaoh. There's some Hulk 5 action. Great stuff there. This, yeah, this might be it. Here's Marvel Collector's Item number 7. I was just getting ahead of myself. Reprinting Fantastic Four number 13, The Appearance of the Red Ghost. And I'll try to get in on the cover. You see the Tales of Suspense, Pharaoh. The A and the O should be swapped around. And I believe they did that on the interior splash page. But you really ought to get these old reprints. There it is, Pharaoh. So they made a little mistake. It should be O and then the A. And what a great ad on the back. These model kits. The Spider-Man one is fantastic. Once again, our sponsor is Nice Strawberry Soda. Oh, if you can hear me drinking, I should probably mute my microphone. It's very hard to get your hands on the first 10 Fantastic Fours. Well, I think I have 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. 9, 10. But here's number 10. Reprinted there. And on the bottom of the cover there, you see Jack and Stan. They write themselves into the story. This is number 8. Strange Tales and the Hulk number 2. It's a great variety. Great variety. The interior cover has this very nice black and white image. These are the great classic stories. I'm trying to get a little creative with the covers here. Collector's item number 10. I'll just show you 2 covers. Show you a nice image of the Hulk. So there's Fantastic Four number 15, the first appearance of the Mad Thinker, while the Iron Man takes on the Melter. Quite an enemy. You have armor and he can melt it. Hello, the Gray Man. You're still awake. Oh, it's probably the middle of the day for him. And Bronco's here. Yes, it is. Now you spell it right, M-I-C-A. Yes, my parents did not think I could handle all 5 letters of Micah. So they thought they were doing me a favor. We'll shorten that, take the H off. And so later when they'd introduced me I'm an adult by that time, I'm telling people, yeah, they didn't think I'd be smart enough to handle 5 letters. Much to their chagrin, they realized later that, yeah, they did kind of make me seem like I couldn't handle 5 letters. Well, I have the weekend off, so I might as well. There's Gray Man, 4 p.m. almost. Yes, I recently saw Gray Man's episodes where him and Jambo and a few others that I'm not too familiar with, they all go out and search for a subject on the covers. And their Saturday subject was skulls. And so you could vote for whoever. I was throwing a few good votes for Jambo, but I threw one nice vote for Gray Man. I think I saw that, Eric. Something about ice cream in a can, if I saw the right post. Yes, the 33rd Prophet, Gray Man. Yeah, I don't know if they have vowels. But enough Hebrew. This is Marvel Collector's item number 11, featuring the Ant-Man showing up. Nice crossover. And there's the Scarecrow fighting Iron Man. And some Steve Ditko artwork on the Hulk for a change. It's the Metal Master. More Doctor Strange. These are just fabulous. Hope everyone's having a great day. I know Dr. Silver Age will be checking us out later. He might even jump in here. Here's the Invisible Girl trying to tell Ant-Man something in private. So if you haven't had a bunch of reprints set aside for a rainy day, or when you lose power, or basically the world's coming to an end, you should do so. Now they're starting to get a little bit more creative in their covers. Instead of just showing you the reprints of the books, here's Collector's Items number 12, good Doctor Doom cover. Also showing you another scene of the Hulk number 6. Might be the conclusion to that story. And the Crimson Dynamo versus Iron Man. Oh, the ice cream. Fantastic Four number 18 gets reprinted here in Collector's Item number 13. Mine is the Scribble edition. But I think I only paid like $1 for this. Yes, yeah. Good square bound. And a great cover. Number 17, if you like falling into another dimension. I enjoy books that have buttons and gizmos and gadgets that you can just press and bad things happen to your enemies. This one looks so beautiful, I had to get a second one. Collector's Item Classics number 21. It started on Yancey Street. In fact, they used this art again. There it is. Take a look at Reed and Sue. They made a paperback reprint of various stories. And they used the Reed and Sue artwork on that, but they decided to put in a different thing and Human Torch. Now we come upon Marvel Greatest Comics number 24. We've had a name change from Collector's Item Classics to Marvel Greatest Comics. They were going to focus primarily on the Fantastic Four from this point on. This reprints FF number 32. Yes. And for those of you just tuning in, Shannon will hopefully be joining me later today for our talk on Commandy. In fact, just to let him know, I'm all ready. We hopefully will get to like the first maybe 5 or 6 issues. And you fellas feel free to join me. Now the next Marvel's Greatest Comics number 25 will reprint the Submariner story from Fantastic Four number 33. And looks like Captain America is going to make a little appearance here. This is a great cover, but I always prefer the original here. This is Fantastic Four number 33 that it reprints, because in this one you get a better idea what Kirby was going for with his photographs or photo homage covers. Although it is interesting to see Atuma in red. And Lead Paint's joined us. Hello, Lead Paint. So I'm going to try to put the... there we go. If any of you want to come in and join, it's perfectly fine. That's the link. Up next is Marvel's Greatest Comics number 26. The story of Gideon. Men so rich that they can decide on taking over the world. And one of the ways to do that is to get rid of the Fantastic Four. You can't imagine guys that are so rich they have that much power. You know, they can have their own rockets and go into outer space and control everybody's media and thoughts. No one can get that powerful or rich these days, right? Marvel's Greatest Comics number 28. Now we have a different artistic cover for the classic Fantastic Four stories. Yes, I actually mowed. I actually mowed this morning. Don't know if that helped. I muted the microphone. Now, the thing about Marvel's Greatest Comics and Marvel's Collector's Item before that, they would jump all over the place. So here is Fantastic Four number 12 being reprinted all of a sudden at this late stage. And let's see, it also... and it reprints number 31. So you have your handy dandy notes here telling you who drew it, when it was published. I do hope you guys have notes on the back of your books. Here's number 30, which would reprint... oh, I've got a bad corner here. Too bad. This would reprint Fantastic Four number 37. I thought Jambo was going to be on the No Faces chat later today. You might miss that as well. Marvel's Greatest Comics number 32. One of the best villains the Fantastic Four ever had were the Frightful Four with Medusa. And they, of course, get Thing all mixed up and hypnotized. And this would reprint number 41 and 42. And they are continued stories. But you're going to miss number 43 if you're not careful. So this was number 32. And here comes number 33. But this reprints number 44 after Reed and Sue are married. So you'll miss a good chunk of action, and you didn't see the conclusion to this battle. And you need Fantastic Four number 43. That one was always a kind of a hard one for me to find. So I found the reprint of it in annual number 9. So there's the cover of FF number 43. So you might want to make a note right after issue number 32, if you want to read the conclusion of that story, get you annual number 9, which reprints Fantastic Four number 43. Then get Fantastic Four annual number 3 or number 10, and that will reproduce the wedding of Reed and Sue. Because when you show up for Fantastic Four number 44, reprinted in 33, it's a lot of numbers here, but that's their honeymoon, which is what a honeymoon, right? And if you saw a previous video I did on covers and how they've been redrawn, you'll see that Jack Kirby gave Gorgon some nice little boxing gloves, and those have been redrawn for this reprint. I don't know by whom. Let's keep up in the chat. I've had them for a little while. Oh, okay. Well, we're sorry you have to work. I believe Gratu was going to be doing something today, and I kind of waited. I didn't see anything going on. I thought it was okay for me to just plow through and do a video. And thank you all for joining me. Marvel's greatest comics would go on to print smaller sized books. Let me get rid of some of these comments. But sometimes you might miss a story here. Sometimes you might need to flip over to Marvel Triple Action to pick up where they didn't reprint every story of the FF, the first 100 issues. So don't forget Marvel Triple Action, and we'll get back to Marvel Triple Action very shortly. I'd like to turn ahead to Marvel Superheroes, where you get some old reprints of the X-Men and Daredevil before his costume becomes red. So instead of just looking at these covers, let's open up one. So it's a Jack Kirby cover. I appreciate the original X-Men number 3, but no, it's not confusing at all. Hey, you get a little pinup of Daredevil in there. I don't mean this to be embarrassing to anyone, but being blind, I was always amazed at how he could make this costume and the letter D. And I always wondered, did he go to a store and ask somebody, can I have a letter D, fabric store? Somebody hands him one and he feels it, can tell it's a D, and sews it on there really good. Yeah, this is the original cover for the X-Men books you're getting ready to read, and there's the original Blob story compared to this reworking. So this would be reprinting Daredevil number 2 and Daredevil number 1. To make sure you bought Daredevil number 1, they put Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four on there. Always a good idea. So there's your splash. All right. I might as well put these in Mylar, so I'll just leave them out. About time I upgraded. What do y'all think of the Mylar shortage? Yeah, I agree. Even though it's a reprint, Marvel Superheroes number 24. Great cover reproduction. That old Daredevil. The Angel is trapped by Magneto. Well, that'll make you pick it up off the newsstands. You got to find out what happens, right? And isn't that a great cover box? The X-Men and Daredevil. What a team that would have been. Now, the coloring might be a little odd, like Magneto's helmet. Oh, and this one has a great pre-hero story. I think that's a journey into mystery. I should know that. I'm almost embarrassed I can't just declare it to be so. That's just great stuff. And we'll get over to some of the Daredevil action here. Here he is. Fabulous. Once again, beautiful cover. Suitable for framing and putting on the wall. I need more walls here with all the stuff I have. Pretty wild cover. Marvel Superheroes number 27. We'll go in close on that. The Hulk's kind of looking like the Beatles there. I think that was the Green album. Against the leader and his legions of death. So obviously you got to buy that one too. Wow. Guy's got legions of them. And this reprinted the X-Men story of Eunice, the Untouchable. Fabulous story. Fabulous story. And it gets right down to it. His power is so out of control, he cannot eat because he can't get food and water near him. Brilliant. Hopefully you'll all recognize Spectator. You'll recognize his avatar if you look closely. That is Zombo. And before that, I don't quite remember. Yeah, it would come to me if I think about it long enough. There's a great ad there. Captain America art. And back to some Kirby. Here's the Hulk showing up. Now compare his hair there to his hair there. It's this kind of commentary you don't get anywhere else, folks. It's probably a good reason. And check out the leader's little go-kart he's got. Little golf cart. That'll help you get down the neighborhood block. Go down the driveway to check your mailbox. Can you imagine if Kirby had worked for Chrysler? Some of the designs would have been incredible. There's Karen and Matt Murdock. I hear later on, after I quit collecting, that Marvel hired this idiot, I think his name was Kevin, who decided to kill her off. What was it that? Because, when you can't come up with anything creative, you kill off a good character. Let's let. Yes. Starting to get into that. I don't know if you could pluck off the wings on his ankles. I would think it's kind of like long hair in a fight. You might want to go for that. It wouldn't be the most exactly noble way to fight somebody, but here's Submariner making an entrance, splashing up out of the water right in front of the camera. Good stuff. We'll see what the splash page looks like. Wow. Here's what Wally Wood did with the splash. It almost has a John Severin feel to it. Beautiful. Now, if you remember, Marvel Triple Action started off doing some of the Fantastic Four. Then they would switch it up to the Avengers. No, just So here's a different reworking of Avengers Number 10, the cover. Not too bad. These reprints have some really cool stuff in them. Now, I usually prefer the original covers, but that's not a bad secondary cover to Avengers Number 10. Once again, this is Marvel Triple Action number 5. So you got the big 3 on the side there. And that's Dick Ayers' artwork. Yeah, that's why I voted for one of Gray Man's skull covers the other day. I was being nice. Or annoying as a whole race of beings living in the ocean. Yes, and why haven't we sent an ambassador representing the United States? I'm sure France and England have sent good ambassadors to Atlantis. So why can't we Americans do that, right? There's the executioner. Who could forget the Paul Bunyan versus Executioner fight? Avenger versus Avenger. So later on today, I'll be talking with Shannon about Commanding. Hope you all tune in. That'll be at 3 Eastern, 2 Central. Nice pinup of Captain America. Come on, focus. There we go. Isn't that awesome? If you're not a comic fan, you look at that, If you're a comic book fan, you say that was awesome. Marvel Triple Action number 6. Little Mole Man action. And the Red Ghost. What a team up. I'm sure they took over the world because, those guys, I'm sure, got along real good with each other. Marvel Triple Action number 7. and you see I'm cheating. I make use of these ridiculously big My Comic Shop. I just scribble in there Avengers 13. So if someone quickly says, "Hey, what did that reprint?" Oh, it's Avengers 13. You look real smart at a glance. Yes, I agree. There's a good cover. A Marvel Triple Action number 8. And here's one of those. Number 9. This is number 10, reprinting Avengers number 16. See how smart I look? Even though I scribbled it in there, Avengers 16. There's the Black Widow. And before these Avengers movies, everybody said, "Oh, look, there's the Black Widow." Now you see that, hey, it's got the Black Widow. Get 5 copies. All right, number 11. Weird looking. Number 11. Once again, if you're just tuning in, I have the day off. And I think Grot 2 is going to do something later. I know later today I will be having the great Shannon. I'm sure he appreciates me showing his photograph every chance I get. I don't see it right off the bat, so we'll do that later. Marvel Triple Action number 13, but I'll be talking to Shannon later today. We'll be talking about Kirby. I don't know what the Avengers are looking at, but right in the middle there is the Swordsman. Here's number 14. It reprints Avengers number 20. Now, earlier on Saturday, we were reminded by Grot2 that some of these may have a missing page or a missing panel so that Marvel could put in a couple of extra commercial ads, or they weren't printing as many pages per book later on. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. Here's number 15. It reprints Avengers number 21. And if you saw an earlier video I made where I talk about how cover reprints change, in the original Captain America, there was an artist mistake. They have the letter A on his head, but they also put an A on his chest. This reprint goes in there and fixes that and turns the A on his chest into the proper star. But I show that on look for the video that has Hulk 181 image on it. You'll be able to see it. I think it was back in May or something like that. Now we'll skip ahead a little bit here. Here is Marvel Triple Action number 20. Some Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. It's great stuff. So later today, we'll be joined by Shannon talking about Kirby. Once again, that's 3 Eastern. If anybody wants to join me, feel free to. This cover was reworked, and you'll see the obvious differences. almost the same poses, but I'll go in tight. Here's Goliath. Marvel Triple Action number 22. Marvel Triple Action number 27. Obviously, I am missing one or two of these. This must be that problem they were having on that Memphis bridge earlier this summer. I don't know if you guys knew that. Memphis, Tennessee. Some guy had been checking every year. Yeah, the bridge is fine. The bridge is fine. And then they found out, oh, he's been lying. They shut it down just in time for me to go visit Memphis. Number 28. I agree, Jambo. 29. Be a great poster. I have an image to show you on this one. Here we're fighting the Super Adaptoid. And that's going to be blurry, so let me go ahead and run to my pre-made image just to show you. Okay, here is the side-by-side comparison of the original Avengers number 45. Take notice the Quicksilver on the left, just below the box. Quicksilver gets erased from that cover. And they didn't have enough room for the title at the bottom because they had to make room for that delightful barcode. So they had to make the title cover up where Quicksilver was. Also, the Super Adaptoid has lost his wasp wings. Try saying wasp wings 3 times fast. Other than that, I don't see many changes. Of course, they had to redraw Giant Man. Kind of a different pose. So there are some differences. Hello. I don't know why it's blurry, folks. This was number 46. It reprints Avengers number 53. Also, you remember the Marvel Masterworks? That was a great way to get some of these nice reprints. If you want the Tales of Suspense reprints, of course he shared the book with Iron Man, but if you want the Captain America version, then grab this one. And you're going to be looking for this issue right here. I believe that's number 92. There's a great mistake in number 92. So let me show you the cover. Yep. Number 92. So this is what the cover would look like. Captain America heroically preventing this guy from hurting Nick Fury. Yes, the real Nick Fury. accept no substitutes. And Stan Lee made a terrible error writing this. He's been fighting this guy in a really, really tough fight scene. And the other guy seems to get in a lot of good shots. And then Captain America wants to talk real tough. And so he says, okay, mister, I'm ready for you. So let's wrap it up. Only one of us is going to walk out of here under his own steam. And it won't be me. He meant to say, and it won't be you. I think that mistake survived because this is the tail end of one page. And then the beginning of another page. Had the idea and the words flowed from the middle of the page to the bottom of the page or some, together on the same page, I think they would have caught it. And but when you're looking at one page and you're okaying it, yes, I think this page looks great. Yeah, all the words, okay, you sign off on it. Then later they put the next page in front of you and you check it. Okay, yeah, everything looks good. And you sign off on that. I think that's how they made that. Later, Marvel would make a book called the No Prize book where you can see Stan Lee admits to making that mistake. And what do we have going on here? Mr. Rigor Mortis says Super Adaptoid fell on a hard time. He lost his wings. No, it was my camera. Sometimes when you show comics and people, Mighty Marvel Masterwork line is pretty cool. Slightly smaller format. I agree. The price was, you couldn't beat the price. Soft covers. I agree. And Barnes & Noble had their own section of those as well at one time. Well, guys, if no one's going to join me, that's fine. I think you all are hanging in there and chomping at the bit for this 3 Eastern time. I'm going to talk with Shannon about Commandy. Some absolutely great stuff. Just to get the reaction of someone that's not a comic fan. Earlier this morning, I showed this to my wife. Obviously, her first thought was, is that a remake of Planet of the Apes? Now, don't be offended at that. A lot of people that aren't comic fans, and even some comic fans, they obviously make that connection based upon the scenario of seeing Lady Liberty like that. I assume it's been done many times before in sci-fi related posters or materials, but Planet of the Apes had such an impact on people that that's what you naturally think of. I also showed her this cover, so she gets the idea that, okay, it's not just a bunch of gorillas and chimpanzees. There's rats. And I told her he has everything: wolves, leopards, British bulldogs. Okay. So once again, hopefully you all will tune in later today. Guess we'll just call this kind of like a commercial plug to remind everybody about seeing Shannon. Hopefully we'll have some great Commandy stuff to show you. Great artwork. So this is a little preview. I can't wait. So be here later, 3 Eastern, 2 Central, to see Shannon. And Shannon's going to talk about Commandy with us. And then later this coming Wednesday night, we're going to also be talking about Commandy, as well as some other stuff. And the 4-Color Fossils will join us. So I guess that's about it. We came in about 50 minutes. No one's joined me, which is fine. But have a great day, everybody. We will see you back here later, 3 Eastern. So until then, happy drawing.